Yeah, so I just got off work and I got the call to come over to Bill's. And I'm not one to say no to dig for vinyl records, right? So I'm going on over. It is going to be dark, and maybe he'll open up his garage. But as I said, I do have that light that I'll put on my forehead so I can see. All right, hanging a right. Yeah, and the sun's really going to go down here. It's, you know, gonna have to start digging here pretty quick. And all right. So Bill and I usually make arrangements on Sundays, but he was busy on a Sunday and then he had to cancel again. So he gave me the call and I knew it was going to be dark. So I went to Wawa, right? Walmart, and I did the drive-through and I got one of these. And I knew I was going to need it because I remember in his garage, he had one light bulb up above and that's it. So either I bring a lamp in or something, or I go ahead and use this on my hat or forehead. So it worked out pretty good. Have a look at what I dug through. It's a little dark on the filming, but I think the lighting is good enough. All right, check it out. So I'm here in the garage and gonna start looking at the records. It's kind of sweet, Bee Gees Live. And I've got a headlamp on because it's gonna get dark, as I said. I keep saying that, but it's gonna get dark in here. Oh, there's one right there. If you like Jimmy Smith, this guy's very, very much like Jimmy Smith. I think I'll go ahead and get this Camel LP as well. Okay, found a box here. Brian Wilson and the Shrink. Tom Petty and the Shrink. Heat. White City and the Shrink. It's getting pretty dark. Money and cigarettes. I have that Spirit. And this. Highway 1. Ronnie Montrose. I have this at home. Wars Against the Empire, Jethro Tull A. I'm gonna pick up this yellow. Another copy. Pretty Man. Pearl String Band. Richard Pryor. Kenny Youngman. Robert Klein. great. Allman Brothers Band. And I do have that. Here's Incredible String Band. Okay, I'm going to go in deep. And you can see it's really getting dark here. Sun's going down. Yep, I know, I see it. Fear of Music. Got to check the condition on these. But I'm gonna get over to here. So I'm going to show you how I'm suited up this time. I had a mask up because it is dusty in here, and I got you can see the light I bought. All right, so here goes. You know, I had a mask up this time. Spring is coming here in northern Nevada, and they're talking about a super bloom in California. That means all that pollen just comes over the Sierra Nevada mountains, and we have all the sage. It's less about the garage dust, I think, but it's just a good idea to mask up anyway, because, you know, you get a little mold or dust. Anyway, that's not going to keep me from digging for records. No way. I'm a vinyl miner, and I got my mining light too. Okay, I'm going to show you what I got. This is about 22 records or so. And I'm going to start off cool, and then I'm going to start bringing the heat. So here goes. I did not have this Cars Greatest Hits album, and this is from 1985. This has a remix of I'm Not the One on this. And I spun this. I spun all these records. Really happy with this haul, and thank you, Bill, for letting me cherry pick your records. These worked out to about a little over $5 a record this time around. So the Cars and In the Shrink, nice. I thought I had this, so I went back and I picked this up. And of course, this is on Electra. Look at that killer hype. Love the hype stickers. Fantastic. And next, this is Brian the Man Wilson's debut, and I just couldn't pass it up in the Shrink. I've never had it. I have it on CD. And this is the one that Eugene Landy was involved in. This has Love and Mercy on it. I just love it. You know, Jeff Lynne is on this, guys. Elliot Easton from the Cars, who later joined Creedence Clearwater Revisited with Stu Cook and Doug Clifford. And Christopher Cross is on this. And some of you in the know are going to know that Chris Cross, man, is just a ripping good guitarist. Great studio guy. So no wonder Christopher Cross was invited on Brian Wilson's debut. And, you know, the Rio Grande is fantastic. Love having this album. So, Brian Wilson solo. And this is from 1988. Really nice. And next up, I had to get this ELO record with Roy Wood on it, the debut. You know, it's not the best ELO album, but I didn't have it, and it's just really nice and clean. So, nice to have this. And this was released in the UK in 71, but in the US, 1972. And the guy from United Artists, the record executive, thought that the title was No Answer, but they didn't really mean that. It was a mistake over the phone. Somebody jotted down No Answer, that they weren't able to talk to Jeff Lynne or something like that. But very interesting. Here's the back cover. And I'm a little light on ELO records. I have 4 or 5 actually. So I definitely wanted to add this. And he has ELO 2 over there, which isn't, they start getting better on the 3rd day and all that. But really nice to have this ELO record. And next I had to get some Curtis Mayfield Superfly. Absolutely. Soul, funk. You got some Psych here from 1972. And this was recorded in Chicago and New York City. for Superfly, the soundtrack. And I'll always remember when this came out. It of course has the flap here. And look at the back cover. Good film, good soundtrack. The great Curtis Mayfield. Wonderful to have this one. And this is this custom label, Kurtum, a subsidiary from Buddha Records. And next up, you know, I'm light on this band, and that's Bangles. Yes. And this is Everything. This is on Columbia. This is from 1988. This is their last LP until they had a hiatus for about 10 years. But, you know, love the Bangles. And originally they were called the Colors when they first started out in Los Angeles. But there are the girls. You have In Your Room, Complicated Girl, Bell Jar, Something to Believe in, Eternal Flame. Really, really nice album. Love it. I did get more Bangles there as well. You'll see in a moment. Now, Ron Wood, his debut album. And if you know, when I first saw this, I thought somebody had taken the Sharpie. I forgot that that's how the cover is for this Ron Wood record. This is I've Got My Own Album to Do. And this is from 1974. Mick Jagger assists on vocals for the opening track. Far East Man is the next track, written by George Harrison. And that's on his Dark Horse record as well. But here we go with Ron Wood. And the back cover, really glad to have this. This is a really, really good album. And next up, I can't not pass some Johnny Guitar Watson. Absolutely. This is from 1987. And once again, that's an old record shop, Mirabelli's, here in Reno, that's closed. It's perfectly sealed in the shrink. It plays dead quiet. Glad to have this one. And you know, Frank Zappa, many of you know, he was such a fan of Johnny Guitar Watson. Steve Miller, you know, this was his mentor more or less when he was living at home in Texas. And Johnny Guitar Watson plays on Zappa's One Size Fits All from 1975 on San Bernardino. That track and Andy, I believe, isn't, yeah, that's it. So once again, Johnny Guitar Watson, really fun to have these records. I have 3 now. All of them I pulled from Bill's Garage. And I know, you know, some of you are going, where's the Eric Clapton records? I always have like one. And I did pull one. And the reason why, I did not have money and cigarettes. And this is his last decent album before that slew of 80s records that were just too synthy. But the whole B-side on this is really excellent. Pretty Girl. It's not overly done. I mean, Albert Lee assisting on guitar. Donald Duck Dunn. You've got Roger Hawkins on drums. Ry Cooder. I mean, this is a good album. And Crosscut Saw, a very faithful rendition of Albert King's Crosscut Saw alone is worth the price of admission. All of $5 for this. I did not have this. EC, Love 'Em with John Mayall, Derek and the Dominoes, and of course the Cream. Absolutely. And a lot of you, you know, that's all you want for EC is the old stuff, and I get it. Now, I kept passing this one up. This is Willis Jackson. And he was, headed up Ruth Brown's touring band in the 50s. They ended up getting married. They weren't really married, but more or less it was a marriage. And Ruth Brown really popularized R&B music in the 1950s. And Willis Jackson was right there in her band. And his albums on Prestige are really, really fantastic. Here is the Prestige label for this Willis Jackson record. And I kept, like I said, I kept passing it up, but I had to go back and get it. Now this is a good one, and this is a little bit valuable too. This is John Fahey. Love this guitarist. I've been into this guy since I was 14 years old. That's the year I started playing guitar, the age rather. And I love John Fahey, Leo Kottke. And, you know, he was born in D.C. and he passed away in Salem, Oregon. And towards the end of his life, I mean, what a shame. I mean, I think Rolling Stone ranked him as the 35th greatest guitarist of all time, and he was just really poor at the end of his life. He had a bit of a resurgence in the 90s, but this album is from 1967. There's the great John Fahey, and he really brought, let's say, American roots music, primitive, they called it, primitive American roots music back into the forefront, much like what Ry Cooder did too, and Leo Kottke. Nice to have that one. Now, this is my third Al Green, Brother Al Green album that I pulled out of Bill's. This one's from 1977. This is an OG on High Records, and I'll show you. Al Green was born in Arkansas, and you know, he's considered to be the last of the great soul singers. I mean, think about it. The Wicked Pickett, Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, Aretha Franklin, you know, they're all gone, but this is on High Records, and this is on this should be a later pressing of High, but either way, this sounds really terrific. Now check this out. I don't have any of this on vinyl at all. I might have a 12-inch single by The Cult, Ian Astbury, and this is from 1983. This is their second album, The Cult, and you know, they got their start in Bradford in West Yorkshire in England, and this is from 1985. For The Cult Love. I like this record, and I hope Bill has more Cult records over there. I hope he does, because I'm going back again, and here they are on Sire. Let me show you this again. Love these inner sleeves. Now we're getting back to Bangles, and this is all over the place. And what's interesting, in 1984, when this came out, they would open for Huey Lewis and the News and for Cyndi Lauper. And it really gave them a big break. And this is where Prince noticed them, and he wrote Manic Monday for Bangles. But, you know, I just love this band. I mean, I like Go-Go's too, but Bangles are really, I'd say, between the two, I prefer the Bangles. And again, they were called the Colors, or they chose that name for them early on, but soon thereafter chose Bangles and then the Bangles. Now, this is a fantastic Beach Boys record. This is just so great. This is from 1981. 10 Years of Harmony. Just so great. Most of you are going to know this. I've never had it. I have it on CD. I have it on cassette and CD, and now I have it on vinyl. But check that out, man. And look at Brian. You know, he wasn't in the best of shape during this time, but, you know, he was hanging in there. Love Brian Wilson. And just simply on Brothers Records, actually on Caribou, this is the custom Caribou label. Now here's a record I've never had, don't have it on CD, and this is the Stax repress. This is Isaac Hayes' Black Moses. This is not the double. And this is from 1971, but this is a repress. I'll show you. Really interesting. Just as the side 1 and side 2 here. But I'll take it because I did not have this. You know, I'd love to get the double with a big, you know, the fold out. But this is on this Stax label right here. So I don't mind taking this at all because I only have about four albums by Isaac Hayes. This is the fourth actually that I have. Now check this out. I'm really pleased to get the debut by Bangles, and this is on IRS. And Annette Zelinskas was the bass player here originally for the band. There it is. Bangles, yes. Love it. And this is a good album. I like it. You know, it's an EP, really. You know, there's 5 songs on here. The Real World, I'm in Line, Want You, Mary Street, and How Is the Air Up There? And, oh, God, just really love this band. I like the whole LA scene. Just fantastic. Rodney on the Rock, you know, really promoted Bangles and so many bands in Los Angeles. Not just LA bands, but from around the world. He broke So many, the list is endless. Rodney on the Rock. So there we go. And let me show you the IRS label, because there we go. It's really kind of important and cool that Bangles is on IRS for their first recording. They went to Columbia shortly thereafter. Now next, you know, I've been looking for this album for a really, really long time. Beach Boys 2020. This is the one. This is the one that has Never Learned Not to Love. And that was based off of a Charlie Manson song. Just nuts. And this was this came out in early 1969, and Brian was really absent during most of this recording. So, but I just love this Beach Boys era of the late 60s and early 70s. Everything during this era, very, very creative. And, you know, they just show that they can do it. You know, they're not just surf music. Now, next, I've been missing my Ziggy Stardust on the floppy RCA for years. I don't know where it went. Man Who Sold the World, this album, and Hunky Dory as well. But now I've got it. This is the second pressing. It sounds good. It needs to be cleaned, but it sounds good. And it's on the second press of the RCA. But I'll take it, man. And the one thing about this record, it's to be played at maximum volume. Now, here's a record that I've been looking for in really decent condition. That's Wake of the Flood, Grateful Dead. And this is from 1973. And now I finally got one. Bill sold it to me, and I'm really pleased. And two of my favorite songs by the Grateful Dead, Road Jimmy, the third track on the A-side, and Stella Blue are on here, and Eyes of the World, Weather Report Suite, but Road Jimmy, just love that song, Stella Blue. And it must have been the Roses. Jerry loved playing those songs. But when, you know, when the Dead would break with Road Jimmy, you know, the audience just loved it. And it's on this private label for Grateful Dead. Now check this out, 2 records to go. I saw this, I couldn't believe it, because I'm such a massive fan of, yes, Peter Green, and I've been looking for English Rose for a really, really long time. Of course, I have it on CD, on the import, but on vinyl, and this is the twofer, I'll take it to have English Rose. And with the debut, the original Fleetwood Mac is just cool. And the songs I really like is Something Inside of Me. The Danny Kerwin tune is just so fantastic. I mean, the whole record is just great. Yeah, I spun all 4 sides of this. Very, very pleased to get this. And this is a UK import. Just so great. Terrific. On CBS. And last one, guys. Now, I've never had this. I have it on CD. And I just... so pleased to get this. This was recorded in the summer of 1969. You know, it's jazz fusion. I mean, it's experimental jazz, funk. And it came right after, In a Silent Way, and that's Bitches Brew. Check this out. This isn't the 2i Columbia, the original pressing, but this record, I put this on my Techniques. It plays dead quiet. The sonics are incredible. Really, really pleased to have this. Fantastic. And, you know, I mean, you just have people like Wayne Shorter, right? Rest in peace. On soprano sax, Lenny White. You know, he was the drummer for Azteca as well. You have Chick Corea. You have Jack DeJohnette. Dave Holland. John McLaughlin. Oh, man. Larry Young. Yeah, I'm getting a little choked up here. And so of course I put them in the polyline sleeves, and I'll show you the wax here. Really, really clean, and plays very, very quiet. Well, that's it for this haul, and I'll see you over at Bill's again. I think I'm going back there in a couple weeks. And thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Cheers.